Jason Childers, ladies and gentlemen of the Childers, I apologize, Coach Jay. This is how I have you written on my phone, so I mispronounced. How are you doing today?
Yeah.
Man, that was an intense, impressive class that we just saw. You were getting in there sparring with these guys, you know, like you're still a young buck.
Hands on.
You were telling me a little bit about your style, how it differs slightly from Muay Thai. I mean, it's Blitz Muay Thai, but you know, you add a little bit of a different flavor to it. Tell me a little bit about that, Jason.
I started training in 1997 in Silat, and I trained with Pendekar Rudy Kuding, and he's always been a Silat man, but he's had a lot of Western boxing influence, and he used a lot of the techniques and made us into a real flowing style of Silat that could be used with like boxing. And it's taught us a lot of footwork. It's taught us how to be smooth and just flow.
Yeah.
That's the main part of our thing, is how all of our techniques will chain and combine into the next one. Everything will be really smooth and it works in a circular motion. And pretty much once we start going, it's like the more that we get longer into the combination, it's like winding us up. It's like winding a top and letting it go. So 1-2 rather than 1-2-3-4, that one's going to hit a lot harder because the way that you're recoiling and pulling, and it just gradually builds up.
And you told me Silat is, you know, basically like a Filipino,
Indonesian,
Malaysian. Right.
My teacher is an Indonesian, and he came over here in, I want to say, the 50s or 60s, and trained with Paul DeTore and a few other guys, but he was one of the main guys, like he's a Pendekar now. His name is Pendekar Rudy Kuding. He's probably about 87, 90 right now.
Wow.
And he still comes out here and moves and works with the fighters and everything. My whole approach has always been to get in there and show them what I'm showing them works. So I've always got in there and sparred with them, and I pretty much took it as if they could deal with me, they could deal with any amateur they're fighting.
You really got in there, Jason. I was very impressed. But I have
really good control. I don't sit there and try to knock my students out. I just try to be fast and if they do something stupid, I make them pay.
No, it was excellent, and I appreciate you doing that. I mean, we got some excellent footage of that. You're a very active guy. You know, you don't just do this. You ride mountain bikes down cliffs. I mean, what's this need for adrenaline? Where does it come from?
I think I'm addicted to adrenaline.
Oh.
Well, I don't drink. I don't do drugs, and that's how I get high, I guess. Like I'm 42 now, and I feel like I'm in better shape, and I'm in a better place than I've ever been in my life. And I just understand my body. I understand my limits, and I like to push my limits because I feel like you can't stay in your comfort zone all the time. If you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you continually evolve, and I just want to see how good I could be. Yeah. In martial arts, you can't perfect what we're doing. You can get really good at it, you can understand it, but you can't master this. It's like there's so many ways it could go. There's 50 ways to skin a cat that once you think that you're the master or the best, there's always someone better. There's always someone out there that knows more. So I just try to practice what I preach. And if I'm telling them to do something and I can't apply it, how are they going to respect me or do it? I stopped fighting in 2008, 2009. Yeah. And I still fight every day. I feel like I fight with these guys, but I'm not fighting on a pro level anymore.
Yeah.
But I get to live through them, like Dane, Gustavo, Ricky, Julian, all these guys that I have now. When they're out there, I feel like I'm in there with them, controlling them like a joystick.
Excellent fighters. You've created some excellent fighters, including Dane and Gustavo. Like you've mentioned, they fought for us in the past. Dane is actually a FightersRep champion. I'm very proud of having him on the show. I can't wait to see him back. So we're here in Blitz Muay Thai. You know, it's in the background. Tell me a little bit about Blitz Muay Thai, when that got started, Coach.
I want to say about 2009. When my teacher was Brian Dobler, and I also with Rudy Kuding. But when I went into competition and everything, I trained with Double Dose, and I was a part of Brian Dobler's team for about 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And I fought in Thailand. I fought United States. I fought as an amateur, and then he turned me to pro. I fought a couple times pro, and then pretty much I stopped in around 2009. And then 2009, I had a gym that I came into. I ended up being one of the half owners of it, and then I started. My name was Blitz when I was fighting,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how it came about.
Very cool. How many fights did you have?
I have 19-3 as an amateur,
Wow.
and 2 as a pro.
Wow, that's a lot of fights. So Blitz Muay Thai, an 11-year legacy.
It's been around for a minute. I've been doing it, but it's never been like my full job. Like in the last 5-6 years,
Yeah.
when I came back into UFC, had me over there, and they ran our UFC in San Dimas a little bit different from the other ones. We were allowed to run. I ran my martial arts program how I run it. I didn't have to run it by their way.
Yeah.
And we were able to get a really good head start in there. We had a really nice facility. We had all the space we wanted. We had primetime hours, and I had a good core group of guys that stayed with me, and that was the new generation of it, and
Yeah.
it's grown into what it is today.
And where are we at now, just to let everybody know?
When the COVID hit, they pretty much shut down all the martial arts training at UFC. They even got rid of the name, and when they closed it, we needed to go somewhere. So Kui, the owner here, has been trying to get me to come down here for a long time, and we moved over here, and Kui's welcomed us in. Does a lot of advertising for us. He's pretty much made a home for us here, and this is where we've been.
So it's West Covina.
We're in Covina.
Covina.
Citrus and Covina.
Okay, and 10th Planet, basically.
10th Planet
right?
Jiu-Jitsu, Blitz Muay Thai.
You know what I love about this place? That makes me feel like I'm in a martial arts movie, that wall over there, Jason.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Kui's a martial artist, and that's very important when you have these, that you're working for someone that's actually in the martial arts. I think if you're like in the UFC thing, a lot of these guys are fitness guys. They don't really understand what we're doing, and it just didn't jive right. And you have to understand what the guys who are competing are going through to help them prepare. It's not, you've got to have a feel of what's going on so they know what we need and how to accommodate us. I could play the game and play the Thai boxing game,
Yeah.
and then I'll start throwing different techniques out, and it'll totally throw you off of what I'm doing. And it's smooth, it hits hard, it's very accurate, it's sneaky, and I know how to place my body in places where you won't be able to hit me, and I can hit you.
And does the style involve a lot of strafing? Because I noticed you're always moving. You're never kind of just standing still. You go left, you go right, you circle around your
I use
opponent.
footwork and try to circle around the back of you. But
Yeah.
I'm old now. I don't need people punching me in the head. So that's probably why I stay young and smart, because I don't take a lot of hits and I do a lot of hitting. So if you swing once and miss, you'll probably miss and I'll hit you like 3 or 4 times. But I like to be slick and light you up, and you miss me a lot.
I loved it, man. It was very interesting to watch. I appreciate your time,
I'm old,
Jason.
but I still move fast. Not bad for a 42-year-old.
Where can people come see you and maybe get some training with you?
We're in the city of Covina. We're off of Citrus and Covina Boulevard. My classes, I have one at noon, Monday through Thursday, and then Monday and Wednesdays we have one at 9 to 10:30. It's an hour. All of our night classes are an hour and a half, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays it's at 7:30 to 9, and then we have a beginner class from 6:30 to 7:30, coached by Julian.
And where can they follow Blitz on
At
social media?
Blitz Muay Thai on Instagram. It's at Blitz Muay Thai.
Very
Or
cool.
you can follow me. It's at Jason DNGR.
Very cool. And you're always putting yourself in danger. You're an adrenaline junkie.
I love it.
I love it, Jason. Thank you for your time, brother. Appreciate it.